fans on. This is nylon. What the fuck? That was dumb. This is nylon. This is not. I'm sorry I told you that was rayon. I'm a dumbass. That was. Is that the stuff you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, that's just like raincoat material.
You told me it was rayon.
I was wrong. Was I high?
No. Well, that explains why it's held up so well.
Okay, oddly enough, rayon behaves very differently when it's wet. This is definitely not rayon. This is definitely some sort of poly nylon thing. Yeah. Definitely not rayon. I'm sorry, it was... Oh, there's the one I burned. Melted, whatever. No, that is... Wait. Nope, it's very definitely nylon or poly of some sort. I mean, it's a polymer. It's plastic.
Well, it explains why it's held up so well.
Probably doesn't breathe for shit. Okay.
It's done full, though.
Right. Goddamn fan. It's too hot not to have the fan on.
Need to pull the top off and recut it, though.
Oh, yep. Rayon. Reignites. Rayon likes to reignite. And it has this fast, vigorous flame, like, you know, you can hear it, and it's usually kind of loud, and I don't remember there being specific ash. This...
What a weird smell. I don't know what I'm smelling, but it smells weird.
See, rayon fucks me up, man. Rayon fucks me up. This does not crumble like rayon ash. Rayon ash typically is like powdery, feathery, poof, like almost like silk, powdery. And it burns real fast, and it leaves a fluffy, glowing trail sometimes, and sometimes it crackles and grits like silk, but there was definitely no silk smell. I know it's not silk. Okay, the other thing you need to look at with fabrics is the edge here, the selvage edge, will tell you a lot. I looked and looked for like a book or something that would just tell me about selvage edges and what information that can carry, just by the nature of the way... What the fuck am I looking for? Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Just by the way... Oh, I don't know enough about it to write. I wish I could. Okay, so this has what I would call an eyelash edge. You know, it's soft. There's no hard bead there. You can tell when it's polyester because there'll be like a crunchy little bead there. If it's a nice natural fabric, I hesitate to say silk or linen or that kind of thing. It will often have a multicolored thread edge of a similar or like... Sometimes with silk, it will have linen on the edge in a couple of different colors, and you'll see that hand-woven look to the side, like, because it's been taken off the loom, but it wasn't cut off the loom, so it still has that woven edge. And it's just, you can see the organic nature of the way the fibers are together, and they're a little bumpy, and they're not perfect, and so that tells you that it's a better fabric usually. But not always. Those things have to go in conjunction with all the other things you're going to do, like burn it and smell it and watch it and test it and bleach it and whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, this has like a little eyelash edge. Just by looking at it up close, it's kind of fluffy. It looks like polyester. It's got some fibers in here that are definitely polyester. If I'm guessing, I'm saying rayon and poly. Yeah, I think I always forget which one is the weft and which one is the, I can never remember that. What the fuck is that? Weft and, is it weave or warp? Or warp and fucking, what the fuck? Can you look that up for me? I can never remember. Anyway, look at them all. You need to look at everything, especially when stuff is marked. Really look at the stuff that you know is identified, because that helps you to identify it when you don't have a label, because you've seen it before. I often will see the exact same fabric that I have in my stash when I am looking at estate sales and stuff, so
Warp.
I already know what it is. It's warp and weft.
Weft and warp.
Okay, that's what I thought. Sort of. Fuck, I don't know what I thought. Anyway. All right. So, I mean, I already knew that was rayon and poly, but, this is a vintage piece of rayon. I'm really not sure what it's going to do. So let's see what happens. It should be from 1940-ish. Might be cotton and rayon. Oh, that's not on here. Slow glow. Vintage rayon. Yeah. Vintage rayon burns a lot like cotton. Smells like paper. Excuse me. Again, like the linen glows a long. And this could be linen and rayon. Linen and vintage rayon. Rayon is an organic fabric. It is a cellulose fabric. It is made from plant. Viscose, if I'm gonna have to research this now. Viscose, if I'm not mistaken, is a brand name of rayon, or there's another one too. It ends with OL, something all. Oh damn. Modal is also, I think, a rayon brand name. But I have seen, especially fairly recently, I have seen some stuff in the stores listed as rayon, gotten it home, and then, went to dye it or something, or burned it or whatever. Not like accidents happen here, especially with me around. And I have definitely seen some polyester fabrics being passed off as rayon. So modern rayon is not, to me, is not it's just basically a shell of its former glory, but is also incredibly damaging to the environment. So that's a no. But I am lucky enough to have a bunch of vintage stuff, and that's given me some stuff to play with. And that's cool. So anyway. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it helps to take the fibers apart and burn them separately because you can see them burn differently, but I'm pretty sure that this is cotton and rayon. I think this is almost a file, and the wider sections, I think, are probably the cotton, and the rayon is woven around it, it's like an ottoman. Did I say ottoman? It's a file, but maybe a little heavier, maybe more like an ottoman. Anyway, I don't know. Rayon gets oddly stiff in water. I'm not sure why that is. Vintage rayon has longer fibers than the modern rayons, and so the vintage ones, while they shrank badly, because I had like 8 yards of beautiful, like Wedgwood blue vintage rayon turned into 4 yards of beautiful vintage rayon at a much narrower width as well. And so it shrinks pretty badly, but it is pretty phenomenal stuff. Like, it came beautifully clean, and it is, I'll get it, I have to get it and show it to you because it's really cool stuff. And I also had some rayon from the stash, the 1940 stash that had, was it 1940? I have to look it up now. I have to look my own stash. I don't remember when it was. 1940s.
I'd say I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And I'm sure silk was in fairly short supply then. So I had one piece that was a mix of rayon and silk, and it is just the weirdest stuff. It's nubby, and it's like, I don't know. I have to dye it, but if I dye it, it's going to shrink the shit out of it. Like, even without putting it in the dryer, it shrank badly. But it still is beautiful stuff. Hard to imagine it's been around all that time. But yeah, vintage rayon is very different than the modern stuff. Modern stuff's really short fibers, and when it gets wet, it's very, very fragile. If you've ever worn like rayon bloomers or a rayon chemise and had it just shred at the crotch, it's because modern rayon fibers are very short and they're just not sturdy. and so you can't really sweat in them because it damages it. It makes them very fragile, and then you damage the clothing just by wearing it and sweating in it. So that's a bummer. Rayon, I think that's it. That's all I can think of to say about it. It's one of my favorite fabrics and one of my most hated fabrics. It's the one that confuses me the most on fabric testing, for sure. And I think that's all I was going to say. Okay, that's it.